Hi everyone and welcome to Radull Live, another weekend full of great football and sporting action. Remember, with Betika, you can save your bundles. You can actually bet on betika.com without using the internet, and make sure you take advantage of that. Of course, this weekend we have the Betika Grand Jackpot, where if you place a stake of 20 shillings, you could win 50 million shillings. If you place a stake of 99 shillings, you stand to win 100 million shillings if you can bet on the 17 matches correctly. So go to betika.com and of course bet without bundles. Joining me on the show today, I'm excited. I'm always excited when they're women. I'm biased like that. I'd like to introduce Wanjiru Mahihu. You will get to know her name properly within the next season of the FKF Premier League. Wanjiru, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Wanjiru. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Chairperson of Talanta FC, who won the Betika National Super League. So congratulations for that. And we can see it here. Allow me to introduce Ken Kenyatta, the head coach of Talanta FC. Ken, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
First, this is yours. This is your trophy, but we've put it between the ladies.
That is ours.
It's yours. You earned it. It is yours. And congratulations, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Just to go over the season very briefly, how was the last season for you in the Betika National Super League?
Oh, I think thank you for giving me this opportunity. First and foremost, the last season I was not active. I was coaching Ushuru, so I stayed out for 1 year and 6 months. So when I took Talanta, it is when we qualified to the Premier League. I've taken Talanta for 1 season.
For 1 season?
Yeah.
And how challenging was it?
It was, as well, nationwide. It's a bit tricky league and it's a tough league. I think we managed to get into where we got, so we thank God for that.
Let me come to you, Shiro. First of all, you're a football fan. You must be a football fan. You're a chairperson of Talanta FC.
I am a football fan.
Yeah.
And I'm a football fan of FC Talanta. Yeah. I focus more on that than anything else.
First of all, who are you? For those who don't know who you are, I mean, I don't want your whole CV, but I want to know how a lady becomes a chairperson of Talanta FC. At what point do you decide this is what I want to do?
People don't believe my story because it sounds like it's a crazy story. But I entered FC Talanta by mistake. Yeah, it was not planned. And
a good mistake, yes.
Yeah, it was a good mistake. And FC Talanta started many years ago, and they were looking to field in a lady inside the board. Yeah, their board, which was at that time UNICEF, invited all of us. UNICEF, Kenya Academy of Sports, and Communication Authority, and they wanted to field in the business community, and they were looking for bringing in somebody who can bring in a gender balance, and they invited ladies from across the business sector, and ladies were not really interested that much. Yeah, so I came in on board. And I said, yeah, I don't mind. Let me
give it a shot.
Let me give it a shot. There was free lunch and free soda. So I came in and listened to their proposal, and I thought this can be something that I can contribute to and bring in the business community onto the board. So that's how I came on board.
How long ago was that? Because I know Talanta itself was formed around 2012.
Yeah, it was around 2013, it was around that time.
At the beginning?
It was really on the onset, because that's when we formulated the board. Mm-hmm. And we put in the structures in place, and, and trying to bring in people who could help with the business sector.
Because I know for a fact that Talanta started off sort of as a development side.
Yes.
And was the dream always to stay on the grassroots or to get to the Premier League? Did you immediately enter into I know there are 5 tiers of football leagues in Kenya.
Yeah.
You immediately entered into the league?
No, the dream was, first of all, our slogan, Beyond the Dream. we came in to come out from the grassroots, and we also work with the Kenya School Secondary Heads Association. So we go out into the grassroots and we try and bring up talent from wherever it is across the country. That's the thing that I really want to emphasize. We're not sectioned into one particular part of the country. So through the Kenya Secondary School Association, we would go and look for talent, whether it's music, whether it's film, whether it's football. But then football ended up becoming the flagship because UNICEF came on board and they really pushed on that agenda. And one of the things that they even were forcing us, trying to encourage us, let me say, and promote us, was even to start a girls' football team. So that is something they've consistently said, that they want to encourage FC Talanta to start a girls' league. Yeah. Hence
the name Talanta, which basically means talent.
Talent across the board.
Let me bring Ken in. We'll still get back to the business angle of running the club. Ken, give us your history in football, for those who don't know where you came from. Me, I know because we've interacted quite a bit over the years.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Me, I've been a player. First, I was in Kisii Primary. Then I was in Kisii High School. I did accounts. I was working with the Kenya Post and Telecommunication. So at some point I used to work at the same time I'm playing football. So I could play for the national team at the same time I'm working in the office. So
you're a celebrated goalkeeper.
Yeah.
That we know.
I played for the national team at Harambee Stars 8 years. Then when I got an injury, I decided to be playing football. Then I went back to the community to coach the young ones. So that's when I ended coming to be a big coach, because I started training for coaching courses. I went to Netherlands. I've trained here in Kenya. I've done CAF C, CAF B, CAF A. I've done instructor course. I'm an instructor for coaches for CAF C. I trained in Cameroon, so I started Ushuru. It was my team. I looked for the sponsorship myself. Then we were Then we were given a budget of 47 million. I ran the team from 2006 up to 2019 July. That's when I left Ushuru. So I stayed out for 1 year and 6 months. Then I took Talanta.
You were at Ushuru when they were promoted at some point?
We qualified several times, but you see, there's some factors that you must have for you to get there. But there's some technicalities which could make us not to play in the Premier League. So we accept that it's part of life in Kenya. So, but we qualified. By the time we qualified, it was 2013. We went unbeaten, and then we qualified to the Premier League. The first time we ended number 11, position 11. The second one we were top 8. Then 2016 we were brought down to the NSL. I played the NSL in 2017, 2018, 2019. I played the playoffs twice. Then the third one I was number 4. I've never finished number 4. I finished 2, 3. So now I landed at the FC Talanta.
Tell me about your how did they manage to entice you to come to Talanta?
Okay, I really wanted to leave coaching football because I was frustrated in a way that Kenya football, there's so many challenges. Mm-hmm. When you make a team, many people there, when the team is a good team, many people they are interested with that team. They just want to see the way the team is, and if the team is good, there are many coaches want to coach that team, you get. Mm-hmm. So there's friction in between. It's not easy, but at some point, as we have a big heart to overcome the situation. So I think
so there's too much politics in the management
in
of
football.
a lot of the
There
clubs.
is, and it's never easy. So I talked. Mr. Ratemo talked to me. There's a time I met him in Korokocho. I didn't know him. I was talking to, how do you call him? This guy was in the sports officer, the low guy, Oluoj. He's the one. Gordon Oluoj.
Yes.
I've worked with him. There's a time I was coaching Minicas. They were training at Nyao Stadium. So I was asking him, who is Mr. Ratemo? And Ratemo is standing there next to me. I didn't know him. So he told me, you mean I know you and you don't know me? I told him, I've never met you. It's my first time
Tell
seeing
him
you.
you're famous.
So, well, he told me, I'd like you to coach my team. Will you want to coach that team? Then I told him, let me think about it. So he keeps on calling me all the time. So I said, let me go and
He wore
give
you
a
down.
trial.
I hope you have no regrets.
I have no regrets. So when I came, I knew there were structures. Then they were telling me, you see, this academy where we develop players. I told him, now you see me, I cannot develop players. Me, I have got to coach at big team because I want to move.
You want to get into the Premier League.
Yeah, I want to make my
You also
CV.
have your name, yes.
Yeah, so I told him, for me, maybe I can give you advice. We make this team to be a big team like Ajax Amsterdam, so that if we have categories of the young ones, people can do benchmarking by bringing many kids to the team, and we sell players because the big team is performing. You get, it's in the big label, you get. So I convinced him until he agreed. So when we came to the Kenya Premier League, now it's a big challenge. Now you cannot go to the schools because the structures in this government or in our country, we don't nurture the young ones from the tender age. You see, in Europe, I was in Ajax
Yes, because
Amsterdam.
you trained quite a bit in Holland, yes.
So
in the Netherlands.
we could be taken there, and if you don't know how to train kids, you cannot qualify to be a coach.
Ah.
Yes. So they were telling us, one thing you have to know is how to handle kids before you start handling the big players. Then another thing, what I realized that we are very much behind as far as football is concerned. They nurture the young ones from the tender age, from age of 5, 4. So you see, of which we don't have. In Kenya, we start making players when they are 18,
16, 17, after school.
After high school. So you see, if you get a player who started the game when he's 13 years, and you get a player who started the game when he's 18, 13 years is more skillful than the 18 years. So that is where we have challenges. For you in the Kenya Premier League to have a player who is right from school, you give him a chance to perform in the team, you come back again. You can't stay in that top league because maybe if a player is around 22, 23 there, and he started playing now 18, he has a little bit of experience where he can help the team. But you see now when he is fresh from school, he can't help the team. We need that experience. Because in the Kenya Premier League, you see a team like City Stars. There's some players like Muki. Muki has played for a long time. If you see, he has even a white hair. But if you see the player, the way he plays, you cannot compare him with the young players. He's far much better than the young ones.
Because you got training at a very young age.
Okay, the young ones, they can play a good game, but they cannot give you a win.
Because of the experience.
Because of the experience.
So what the setup you have found at Talanta, the setup at Talanta, it fits into your goals.
Okay.
Where you're grooming players and you're playing it now in the top flight.
Okay, what I could say is just that Talanta, they had to put the team at the NSL. NSL worldwide, it's a tough league. It's a very competitive league. So if you put the team there and you want to nurture talent from the NSL, then you're going down because you cannot remain in that league because the league itself is very competitive. Then what you do, you have to mix the young ones and the experience. So that they can give you what you want. So for me, if Talanta can have a age category from down, they feed the big team, it will make a lot of sense, and that's what Europe does.
How many, Wanjiru, let me bring you in. How many teams do you have at the moment in terms of age categories?
One of our partners is called Agakoro.
Yes, I'm aware of the Agakoro Academy,
Yeah.
yes.
So that's one of our partners. So that's how we nurture now the younger ones, and we try to bring them in. They train with us and everything, but we may not always necessarily be able to field them.
Because of experience.
Because of
and-
experience
yeah.
and all the rest of it, exactly what Coach has said. And remember, we represent Communication Authority.
Mhm.
And they also want us to be on the
Communication
top tier.
Authority of Kenya are your official partners,
They are
corporate partners.
Yes, we actually, they are, we basically play for them. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
they own Talanta FC, basically.
FC, Talanta, and Communication Authority are partners from, they're the ones, together with UNICEF,
Mhm.
but they're the ones we started off together. So we also, they expect us to be, at least, even if it's NSL, we'll be at the top of the table. And that is the challenge you normally have, because you want us to balance talent, young players, as well as success. So that is also not easy for our coaches. Yeah.
How important is it to have someone like Ken Kenyatta
Yeah.
in your team with his experience and his advice and his... Because I know you're a corporate person, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you have to listen to those who know what they're talking about.
Now, first of all, we appreciate him. He came with a lot of advice.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in this, he's a career coach. So he knows
Player,
exactly,
coach, been in the game.
Been in the game. He knows what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the structures that we have in FC Talanta is everybody stick in your lane. Yeah? I won't come and pretend to be the coach. Yeah? And coach, don't come to my side. Yeah? So everybody sticks in their lane.
Everyone's a professional.
We have our technical director,
Mhm.
Ghost Mulei.
Mm-hmm.
We have our finance director, Nicodemus Bore.
Mm-hmm.
We have our program director, Mr. Ratemo, Douglas Ratemo, who is, he sits under Ministry of Sports / Kenya Academy of Sports. And so everybody has where they're supposed to be. There's Mr.
Role.
Veuri, who is also in their department of technical.
Yeah.
So through that, we've managed to make it. Of course, we really sometimes get into the loggerheads, yeah? When it gets into
everywhere.
when it gets into the boardroom, because we're like, okay, you now, yeah, you have entered my area, just stick in your area. But through that, we've managed to.
What I'm hearing, it's not an accident that you've been successful, because most of the people I host here from the different clubs, you find the structure of the office is upside down, and you have the coaches handling finances, and they don't have people in every position. Because it sounds like you've hired professionals,
Yes.
not necessarily football people, but if it comes to the business side of the club, they are business professionals, marketers, finance people like that.
Yeah, procurement.
Technical part of the club,
Yeah.
you have the best of the best.
Yes.
And that's a basic need that I think for Kenyan clubs, but it's not the case. So it's not an accident you're successful.
Thank you so much. We actually went out for strategy. One of the things we do, we go out for strategy training.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a time we had gone out for strategy where we spent 3 days in Mombasa, and we wanted to thrash out what needs to be done and where are we going wrong, where we don't want to be number 17, in NSL, yeah. Yet we have our sponsor who is helping us in everything. So we thrashed it out, and we got a proper trainer And we wrote out our program for the next 5 years. And we said in the next 5 years in our strategy planning meeting, yeah, we are going to enter the KPL, and that is what we have done.
And you knew what you needed to do to get there.
And we knew what we needed to do to get there. Even the team, to the point of the team manager, yeah? I mean, we go down to the nitty gritty, yeah? This is, and everybody write your plan, you know. What do we do when the bus is leaving? Should the bus be serviced at this point? Should, you know, there should be water in the bus at, you know, we go down to the nitty gritties to make sure that the players are happy. Their support is okay, you know.
And bringing in Kenyatta was part of that strategy.
Yes, it was.
And how has that worked out for you? For you, of course, he's won the league, but in terms of the management on a day, this is his cup.
This is his cup. This is Ken Kenyatta's cup.
This is FC Talanta's cup.
Yeah, because it's a team sport.
Yeah.
And he has brought it home to us, and we said that you know, we are going to make sure that there are no loggerheads within the team. Yeah. You know, team management must work together with the board and together with the technical bench, and as long as we can harness that energy and that synergy, then we can be able to get there.
I want us to take a short break. I'll just take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about financing the club, because even with sponsors, you'll find it's never enough.
Yes.
And Ken, with all your experience in Kenyan football, I think you know that money is one of the biggest issues in getting to the next level. So let's take a short break. We'll be back in just a minute.
Thank you.
Doc, suchapia story.
Wasi, jana nilikuwa napiga ndirao mtaani. Nilikuwa na 20 bob kwa tenje. Nikauliza, tashindaje vimeja na 20 bob kwa tenje? Kiasi. Huyu meka kapopap kutoka chini ya ndai akadai, si ubet na betika ni grand jackpot. Na 20 bob unaweza shinda hadi 50 mili. Nikamshow. Lakini pia sina bundles. Alafu madhawa mayai litokea tu akidai, lakini na betika unaweza bet bila bundles.
Tulia. So unaweza betika na mbao ushinde 50 mili bila bundles.
Kabisa. Ukibetika unapata more. Pata more na betika.
Hii story imeletwa kwako na Betika, the official sponsors of happiness. Gambling can be addictive. Play responsibly. Not for persons under 18 years of age. This advert is authorized and regulated by the Betting Control and Licensing Board. License number BK281. Betika, jukwaa la mabingwa.
Welcome back. This is Radull Live. We are, of course, here with the champions of the Betika National Super League, Talanta FC. I'm with the chairperson, Wanjiru Mahihu, and Ken Kenyatta, head coach, who needs no introduction for Kenyan sports people. By the way, Ken, you need no introduction. Everybody watching knows who you are. Yeah. Before the break, we were talking about finances. How do you finance the team? Because that is the biggest challenge for even our biggest clubs.
Finance is, first let me just say that Kenyan football is not a cheap, it's expensive.
It's very expensive to run a Kenyan club.
It is very expensive. So lucky for FC Talanta, we have Communication Authority of Kenya, who have stood with us for the last, since the inception. You know,
almost 9 years, 9 years.
They've really stood with us, and they've really helped us be able to reach where we are at this moment. Yeah, and we are grateful to them. But the expenses are actually they can never be enough, because like even to you need to have like things like ambulances. The Kenya police must be there. The salaries must be there and on time. And running those budgets is not an easy thing. Sometimes your sponsors will want reports on time, which is fine, but they work according to their budget, not according to the league's budget. So you'll find, like, if their budget, let's say their financial budget ends in June, and your season starts, let's say, September.
Yeah.
You know, the two do not rhyme. You know, so those challenges are always there. You need a bus to get from point A to B. You have away matches, which become, you know, which are very much of a challenge. So, you know, even if they're going to finance you, they need to understand how the league works. We go according to the league, not according to financial budgets, because then people start now digging into their pockets. And
that's the story of most Kenyan clubs.
Yeah.
You literally dig into your pockets.
You end up digging into your pocket
so much.
to finance. As much as then you start paying yourself, you start doing backstroke. You know, the money came in September when we needed money in June, and so there's a
juggling game.
There's a juggling game.
And at the end of the day, Ken, you can come in here, and at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I'm sure every club would like to pay players better, pay coaches better, pay, you know, because you deserve better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what my chairperson has said, these problems has been there even in Ushuru.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes we could play like 5 months without pay when we were in the Premier League. And that is where the go-slow went, and then we came back to the NSL. So for me, what I can say with the FC Talanta officials, I'm telling you, they have really tried. They have done their work, more especially the chairperson. She has been giving us money all the time. We can go to a trip without money, and she sends money to us. So I think it is the structures which can bail us out from this problem. The problem, when we have structures, the money can be put in their accounts, and then the players are being paid through their accounts. No one touches the money for players. Then everything becomes so easy. But I think even in home, even in your home, these problems are there. So I think people should not blame Kenya football that you cannot have money in the pocket and say this is what is going to sponsor the
But
team.
I blame Kenyan football.
It is the assets
I blame Kenyan football, Ken, because I am not seeing us working towards, and not Talanta as a club.
Yeah.
Clearly, it seems Talanta as a club, you're a lot more organized, and a lot of the corporate clubs are a lot more organized than the community clubs. But I think between the federation and club owners, they need to do more in making clubs attractive for fans and for sponsors. Because at the end of the day, sponsors or partners, corporate partners, will come in because you have a very large fan base that they're trying to reach. And they will come in also if you show transparency in how the club is run and things. Because a lot of corporates, when I talk to them, they don't trust football. And they've put football in one basket. They've not put Talanta and Gor and Ushuru, and they've put football in one basket of people who cannot be trusted. And unfortunately, that reputation almost comes from the top down. So you guys are victims of the reputation that football generally has. And I'm not sure if you have any ideas on how to fix this permanently, you know. And I'm not talking about Talanta as a club now, I'm talking generally about football, because it doesn't work if one club is run well and the others are not, because you're in competition with each other, and for the league to grow, all clubs need to grow. Talanta needs to grow, community clubs need to grow. The quality of the whole league needs to be raised.
Can I jump
Yes.
in there? Yeah?
Yes.
One of the things that is in our strategy, and I will say this openly, is one of the things clubs must do is raise their own funds.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So as Talanta, one of the things we are working on is to actually open an open merchandising, a professionally open merchandise unit and an outlet where our fans can come, where they can come and buy in their merchandise. That will generate income. The other thing is, and I know that there's one very top corporate who, because of vandalism and just general misbehavior in stadiums, where you find fans have come and picked up chairs and they're in their houses, from the stadium. I won't mention which one.
I went to a friend's house and found stadium chairs. It's not funny. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. It's quite tragic.
It is very tragic. They made all of us lose, and a lot of clubs. They made all of us, we all put in the same basket. And they just said, you know what, my brand, and I understand, my brand is not going to be associated with vandalism and just general hooliganism, you know. And it has happened in Europe, even in the UK.
Yeah, the biggest
You
clubs
know,
in the world, yeah.
You know, that is not going to be acceptable. FC Talanta, we may not have a very large fan base because we've just actually now tried to enter
top flight football.
You know. So one of the things we try to do is to put ourselves as professionals, you know, and so that we can bring in the big leagues. The other way we look at our general way of working is we don't just look at, we have a holistic approach. It's not just about football. It's about nutrition. It's about lifestyle. It's about finance. It's about teaching our players how do they move on, life after football, you know. So so that kind of approach or setup is what we promote. It's also about behavior, lifestyle. You know, it's a holistic approach.
Which is what you want for footballers, because a footballer's career is what? 30, 35.
It's limited.
If you can stay away from injury,
Yeah.
by the time you're 35, you can't play anymore.
Yeah. So we would like to encourage even other corporates to come on board, because we're actually giving our youth, you know, an opportunity to have a very good career. And without the corporate sector, it will be very difficult.
What recruitment plans for fans? What plans do you have to recruit fans?
Number one is to go out into the grassroots. Yeah, go out to the grassroots and have and let them understand our philosophy. If people don't understand your philosophy, then you know, just come, watch the game, buy a T-shirt, promote the team, and go home happily and merrily. Not promote hooliganism, because otherwise you think if you can come with 5 buses, let's say from wherever you've come from, but if you come with hooliganism, you're actually hurting the team, because then you make us lose that sponsor. You know,
lose sponsors, maybe
you lose
even
sponsors.
lose points depending how your fans behave. Ken, you've been in the game for so long. Where do you think the fans are failing the game, or maybe the clubs, or I don't know if it's the clubs who are failing the fans, or the fans are failing the game?
Okay, first and foremost, if you check in Europe, what fans did just the other day when England lost, you remember?
I remember.
People fought outside there.
Hooliganism is a worldwide problem. I guess our challenge is we also don't know how to deal with hooligans.
I think fans, they like that, and they feel that if there's nothing like that, the game is, they cannot enjoy the game. So for me, I don't think that way, because me, I'm a coach. I'll want to teach my players to be a better person tomorrow. So what I think, we can have meetings with fans, then we teach them how they are supposed to behave. You know, it's being said that the football game is being played by gentlemen but watched by hooligans. But at some point...
rugby is played by hooligans, watched by gentlemen.
It's played by gentlemen, but it's being watched by hooligans.
Yeah.
So at some point, without fans, that's no game. You remember that. When the stadium is empty, you cannot enjoy the game. Because if I remember during my days, if I play at Kasarani, the stadium is packed. And you see, with that tension of fans, and you have to contain the opponent, you are playing like the fans, the opponent team, and the referee. So how do you concentrate with the game? So that's why most of the time, players who play for FC Leopards and Gor Mahia, they go play professional football because they play under pressure all the time.
They're used to it. They're used
Because
to the
they
noise.
know how to contain the pressure, because if he goes outside, he's going to get the crowd, and he has to know how to contain the crowd. So there's some players who cannot play in that capacity. Okay, now I went to Uganda, and I went to recruit players from Uganda, from URA. When I was in Ushuru, we were in the Premier League. So I was taken round, and they were telling me how they talk with the fans. They select they have fans, then they have the chairman, they have the vice chairman, they have a treasurer, organizing secretary, and everything. They have their officials. So these officials, one of them, he comes to the executive when they have a meeting to present the fans his views. So what they do, and then now the chairman, he goes back and he gets from different areas where there's branches. They have chairmans and whatever. So they sit down, they come up with rules, how fans are supposed to behave. So that you cannot find people fighting in the stadium. Like now, I was watching a game when I was in Netherlands, England versus Holland. Before the game, 30 minutes before the game, the stadium was empty. But 15 minutes to the kickoff, the stadium was packed. And you can see ladies, kids, all mamas, they are in the stadium watching the game. And when you are leaving, no one touches you. You get?
They've found a way to manage the fans.
They know how to manage the fans. And then I watched the game between PSV and Ajax. Those are the top teams in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Also, the fans, they are being trained how to behave. But on the process, when people are going to the field, there's some guys who are making noise on the road. Those whites are making noise on the road. Some are carrying stones and whatever, but they are not stoning any. They don't stone their cars and whatever. It is just, for them, it's fun. You get?
Yeah.
So I think as time goes by, we get branches, officials for fans. They can come and sit down, and we organize people can teach them how to behave, so that we can remove all these breaking chairs in the stadium, throwing stones because of the game. You know, the game brings people together, not to fight. But people make a mistake. Now, if you are the chairman of that team, I'm the chairman of this team, and I want to win, your fans want to fight my fans, and my fans want to fight your team, your fans, because of you have lost. So I think...
And here, nobody manages the fans.
I think the game was formed in a way that football started in China, and the football used to be called suju. So people used to play the game in the road. So they play, and then the other ones, they bring them until England, they came to nullify the game. They decided to put the field and the rules, the referee and the player. That's how football started. And the football used to be played with in seminaries. So until now, the game is coming out to everyone. So I think if we can have people to teach their fans, they can change.
How to
they
behave.
can change, because
I've
the game...
noticed, I've been in so many like Mashemeji derbies, and the fans get more aggravated when GSU move in.
Yeah.
And there's a season where they decided to only use the stewards, because the fans would listen to the stewards, because the stewards are part of them.
Yes.
But the minute you bring in GSU, it's now, this is war. And that is where the tear gas would break out. And I don't know why this would happen, game in, game out, and we would never learn.
Yeah.
I remember going for a game in Anfield, watching Manchester United versus Liverpool, Liverpool versus Manchester United. And there's a special segment for Manchester United fans. They have a special time to enter the stadium. Yeah. And when the game ends, they sit there for 20 minutes as the Liverpool fans clear Anfield Road. When it is cleared is when they remove these other fans. It's not that the fans won't clash, it's that they just manage so well in such a way that keep your hooliganism to yourselves, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lesson for
That's
us.
something we can
Let's
look
move
at.
into, because we only have about 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
What are your targets for the new season? And what is the future of FC Talanta? I'll let coaches go first, because it's easier to give a technical target, and then you tell me where Talanta is going in the next couple of years. Coaches, what is your target for your Premier League season?
Fine. What I can say, my targets, always, each and everyone, when you go to the marathon, everyone wants to win, and everyone wants to get the gold. And you remember that everyone wants to associate with the gold. And you see, the moment we won the cup, everyone wants to take a photo with that cup, and it's not free.
I wanted to
and
take
it's
a
not
photo.
even
Even me.
so you see, everyone wants to associate with the gold.
Good success.
So no one will want to be last or the number 2. If you go, for example, during the 100 meters holder, Usain Bolt.
Yes.
You cannot name number 2. You can only name number 1. So my target is to get into the Kenya Premier League. It is to win one game at a time. So for me to get the title, it is God who knows. For me, I'll want to win one game at a time.
Have you, when you look at your squad, realistically, is it possible, or you're going to recruit more players?
You see, it's the first time we are entering into the Kenya Premier League.
But you have experience there.
Experience, it's there. Not in my team. I've taken young boys. So experience, maybe there are 2-3 players. So for me, I play 2-3 matches. Then the guys will get the experience from there after playing some 2-3 matches. Then from there, I can be able to gauge myself and the Premier League teams, how I'm going to handle them. But as by now, you cannot say anything.
You're humble. You should be like Robert Matano. He came from NSL with Sofapaka and said, I'm going to win this league in my first season. And he did it.
Yeah.
In 2009.
I've said, no one who doesn't want to be number 1.
No.
I think I've said.
Wanjiru, what are the plans for Talanta? Where do you want to see them in the next 2-3 years?
God willing, let me start there. Is number 1, I'd like our players to be very exposed. I think they have a lot of potential. Exposure for them, especially in Europe, is with the bigger leagues. But I'd like to expose them to that kind of opportunity, to bring up Agakoro and the younger, even other younger players. We try and see if we can bring up a new crop. Because I look at FC Talanta as a bigger club. It's not a team. It's a bigger club.
It's a club. It's a sports club.
A sports club. So bring up a younger crop, who, even if we are starting from the lower level, we start coming up. The second thing I would like is to actually see the fruition of the women's football team.
Amen.
Yeah. That to me is a big thing, and I think it's something that has now come to life, because it's now being recognized all over the world. So, and then of course see better sponsors who can come on board, bigger sponsors who can come on, let me not say better, let me say bring on board other sponsors, more corporates, who can help us with where we are trying to get to in our strategic plan. Better salaries, get a better bus,
so you can run like a professional club.
So we can run like a proper professional club. Scholarships, life after football, what is it? What are we talking about? Are we talking about, if somebody, let's say, didn't finish education, what business can they open? Even partnerships because they don't train all day. In the evening, surely they can do some kind of a course or something, so that they can have like some kind of a career, some kind of a business that they can
facilitate them to be successful in life.
Exactly.
Not just in the game, in life beyond the game.
Life beyond the game. Maybe we should.
And I know
our slogan.
And I know Akakoro, you're on the right track with Akakoro. I mean, there's a time, I think, was it Atletico Madrid youth that they beat?
Yeah.
There's a tournament they went for in Spain, and I think they beat the
Yes.
Atletico Madrid youth.
Yes.
And we're like, what? Kenyan club beat the
Imagine.
Atletico Madrid
Yeah.
youth. And, we're all
And
making
you should
noise
have
about
seen
it.
how happy they were. You know, the first
Rightfully
time
so.
they've gone out of the country. Just those kind of exposures, partnerships with other clubs. If they can get onto other clubs, you know, we don't mind. By the way, and I keep saying that. I know the coach doesn't like me saying that.
It's
I'm not
business.
He doesn't want you taking his players away. He wants to focus on winning the Premier League. But at least I see you guys have your structures in place.
We do
and I
have
think
our
well done
structures.
for that. And
Yeah.
you're basically a model, at least for other clubs to look at and say, you
Yeah.
know what,
And
let's
we-
run our club like Talanta FC.
And thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh,
Because
it's long overdue.
yeah, because we also don't mind partnering with other clubs to see how we can forge together. And you know, I believe in numbers. You know, if we could
Strength in numbers.
there's strength in numbers. If we could do, like, let's say, a national convention of all the football clubs, and we can sit and be able to do like a training, even if it's on different lifestyle sort of things, then sponsors could come on board, and then they know, because they can come on board. Let's say you're in lifestyle, for example, you can invite somebody who knows about nutrition. If it's finance, we can invite a bank to come and talk to us about
The
financial
part of it.
part of it, and they can actually benefit from, we can do across the board. We just have to think without a box, not
Yeah.
within the box.
Yeah, we had a football symposium a couple of years ago, which was organized by Just a Study Initiative, which is another whole ball game.
Yeah.
And we brought marketers to speak to the footballers
Yes.
and nutritionists and medical people, and
Fantastic.
but the federation doesn't like you doing anything. Anyway, that's another story.
For another
They want to be
time.
the ones to do it, which is fair enough, but
Yeah.
then do it. Tafadhali,
Yeah,
you know.
because they really need the training. You
Yeah.
know, they actually need the training.
On personal marketing, personal branding of players, coaches,
exactly.
of anyone in the game, fan initiatives
Management.
and all that stuff, fan management. But thank you guys. Unfortunately, we're out of time. I have to let you go.
Thank you
Do
so
you have any
much.
parting shots?
Mm,
Do you want to say, who do you want to thank for this?
okay, my parting shot. Maybe I'll say first and foremost, I have to thank the FC Talanta board. I think they have helped me to get into this. It is not easy because for you to win a game, it starts from the office, the way they are organized, and then us to the technical bench, then it goes to the players. So that's one thing that people don't know. You cannot perform alone.
Takes a village.
It is that the chairperson has participated to get this, not me alone. He has contributed for us to win this. So another thing maybe I could say, it's all about the players. Players, they need to be themselves, more especially the young ones. They get involved for taking smoking opium, changa and everything. You see, maybe I can urge them, if you have the potential, you should not take yourself to such a drugs. You rather go to the field and get sweat
Release your
there and
stress.
get
Release your stress
you,
there.
you release your stress there, and then you go back home when you're fresh. Another thing, maybe I'm thanking my players who had made me to win this cup. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming. Ken Kenyatta, you a celebrated coach. You just don't know it. Wanjiru, Mahihu, Chairperson of Talanta FC. Congratulations on winning the Betika National Super League. I hope we'll be sitting here a year from now saying congratulations on winning the FKF Premier League and holding this trophy. And thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. And guys, thanks for watching Radull Live each week. We'll see you again next week. So we do this all over again.
Thank you very much.